Hello there guys, it's Joey and this is a requested spell set for the store. So this is around the energy of Warrior of Trees, and if you've been with me for a length of time you may be aware that Warrior of Trees was a herbal blend, is a herbal blend on the store, and that was it. It was just a herbal blend, and it's of the Of Trees brand for the store, of which there are a few different ones, and this particular one combines energies of the warrior with the energies of trees, of Ogham magic, and it's one of my favourite blends actually to work with in terms of a warrior-esque energy, and I think it's sometimes slightly overlooked on the store for some of the others, but I really enjoy working with it on a personal level. And so it was requested that I create a spell oil, a spell pendant, 2 votives and 2 cauldrons that complemented one another rather than were the same, to flesh out this energy, because the lovely lady in question had a reading from the incredibly talented Four Queens and wanted to go forward working with warrior energy, and came to me and asked me about the possibility of a set, at which point I said, well, this herbal blend already exists, which sort of correlated to the energies that she was looking for, and if she was happy with that take on warrior energy, then I would take that and run with it and expand. So Warrior of Trees blends warrior energies of victory, the warrior strength, with tree energy. I go about it in a Morrigan-esque, I don't know how to best put it, I'm wiggling my hands about, a Morrigan-esque starting point, if you like, because obviously with her being my matron and her having a warlike aspect, it makes the most sense to me, but it branches out beyond that, and if you know your Ogham lore, then you know there is the War of Trees, and so on and so forth, so it works into that energy as well. The Warrior of Trees has an energy matrix in place surrounding the idea of victory in battle, success, honour, blood, passion, overcoming trials, removing obstacles, justice, protection, as well as a sort of righteous fury or righteous wrath. When looking at energies of the warrior in modern day, it's often the case that most people will not see physical combat, and that's not to say they haven't fought battles and wars all of their own, it's just a different kind. It's a more of a psychological aspect. It may be physically grueling, it may be a physical illness they are battling, and to me that doesn't make them any less of a warrior. And as time goes on, I think it's important to understand where the warrior archetype has come from, what it used to mean and what it means now. There is a particular school of thought which basically say that unless you are involved in the armed forces or the police force or something along those lines, then you are not a warrior, no matter what you say. And I don't agree with that. I think that's too narrow a definition for what a warrior is, and I think you can be a warrior and be prepared for physical combat, but you don't necessarily see physical combat. Does that make you any less of a warrior? Does it make somebody who uses the law or the written word or their kindness and honour and integrity to fight battles on behalf of any people any less honourable, any less of a warrior? Not in my mind at all. I think all of these things are covered in the vastly expansive idea of what I believe it means to be a warrior. So we all go through personal battles, and the Warrior of Trees energies can help us to push ourselves to be the best version of that we can be. I feel that there is a part of being a warrior which is overlooked quite often, which is basically the training, and that training can be basically a whole myriad of things. It can be anything, but it basically means improving oneself on a regular basis, overcoming the obstacles, growing, learning, adapting. And it can be a growth of the mind and the body and the spirit, and it should be all of these things in conjunction for the best chance of becoming the best version of ourselves. Warrior of Trees also helps when situations are becoming overwhelming and things are becoming difficult, and no matter what we do and despite our best efforts, things are not moving like we want them to. Things are getting in the way of justice, of the right path, the right outcome. And I say it hesitantly because right is obviously going to be non-objective, biased depending on the people involved, but it's again part of learning to be a warrior, which is to learn to see the world more objectively but yet with compassion. And often the warrior archetype, when one looks into it, even in history, is more about the protection of others than it is bloodthirsty or aggressive or anything of that nature. The samurai is a good example. The whole principle behind samurai is they were in service and they were servants, rather than what we assume as being the very sort of bloodthirsty stereotype that we label a lot of warriors with. Good eggs, bad eggs, obviously, but broadly speaking, in terms of history, there is at least a beginning of a want of a need to protect those that cannot protect themselves. I've talked a little bit about righteous fury and righteous wrath in the past. Righteous wrath is something that I personally leave in the realm of Morrigan, but speak to her about it and put things in her hands because she knows better than me. But righteous fury is basically when you are angry and... Apologies, that was my doorbell. I wasn't expecting a delivery this late, but there you go. So righteous anger is when you are angry and you have a right to be. That is the right response, if you like. And in modern spirituality, there is a lot of a tendency to express the idea that you should suppress such emotions, that anger is not spiritual, basically. And it's something that I really don't agree with, this whole idea that you should basically have no emotions, that you shouldn't react like a human, that you should be devoid of the human experience. You have to balance the idea of having righteous anger with basically an internal process of when does that become poison, when does that become harmful, when does that turn into a hatred, which is something that is going to be damaging you and others around you. And that is not helpful to you or to anyone else, and that's not a sense of enlightenment at all. But on the other side of it, I really don't like this idea that somehow we should be devoid of the human emotions. I don't like it. It doesn't fit with my worldview, it doesn't fit with Morrigan's teachings, and I think when something is truly deserving of righteous anger, it can get situations which are harmful and prejudicial and abuseful dealt with. It means that the world can become a better place because of righteous anger. So basically this set revolves very much around the honour and blood and passion in oneself. It's very much the lifeblood of the warrior, and getting pumped and getting excited and getting passionate for the causes which we fight for, the things that matter to us, protecting things. It brings a good fire in the belly, and it really is an amazing energy which I love. So I will go through everything individually. Right, where are we with the camera? I'm sat at an angle, so you can see, because the light of course is a bit off. So we'll start with the votives, seeing as they are in shot. So as you can see, the colour palette for the Warrior of Trees is black and red. The herbal blend was the basis, the starting off point, which is already on the store, and there's a lot of natural red in the herbal blend, and black and red to me are obviously Morrigan colours, and they're very warrior colours. There's something very armour-like about black and red in combination. You can get a little bit macabre about it and be like, you know, black armour, red blood splatters. You can get quite warlike crow about it, red, black and red on the battlefield, picking at carrion. So there is a sort of more morbid aspect to black and red. Black and red in terms of colour magic are highly protective, highly fiery, very warrior-esque. You know, nothing's getting past it. It absorbs and destroys, red and black in combination. It's just a really good protective energy that really sort of speaks to the essence of what I feel is the visual representation as well as the energy matrix of a warrior. And it's, you can even see that there's even a little element of them looking a little bit weapon-like, which I love. This is the herbal blend. We're not going to hang on too long because the herbal blend is already on the store and already has its own video, so you can check that out if you wish. So this is then the spell pendant to go alongside. Can we zoom in? Yeah. I decided to go with the red ribbon for the red shimmer through, and then there is the triquetra charm for the cycles of life, death and rebirth, of course, and crystals and herbs within for those energies. Then we have the oil. Very fluid, very warrior of the blood, very active, proactive, fiery. I love it. I love this. I love the whole thing, to be honest. I'm sorely tempted to make these regularly because I really do like them a lot. So then the spell cauldrons, which I love that she requested two that complemented each other. I thought that was a wonderful. And so we have the reverse of one another, which is good. I like the balance. I like the symmetry. I like the cohesion here. I think it really tickles me. It's funny because I'm such a visual person. So to have that balance of the black and red within one another, to show all angles of a situation, to consider everything, to consider all your options, because battles are not of the physical realm as much as they are as much of the mental realm, of thinking things through, of being balancing, attack and defend if you want to be putting it in the simplest terms, but also strategy, and then peace and war being in balance, and then the spoken word, the written word, treaties and things of that nature, as well as the physical acts of going to battle. I love them. I love them together. So I even managed to get a little bit of, I don't know how well it's going to show up, it's actually a black glitter in there. And then a red glitter in that one. Again, we have the mirroring through with the spikes and that very weapony, warlike energy going through. I really, really like it. I hope you like everything. I'm really pleased with it. I mean, I really am considering putting them up regularly, just as is. Right, so that is it for the Warrior of Trees spell set. Many blessings.